What's up, guys, and welcome to the Real Local People podcast, where we bring on local people to talk about real stories about our area in Southern Indiana and Louisville. So today we have the Assistant Parks Director, or Leslie Nope, as most of you all would know her. She's our local Leslie Nope, Amber Ridings. What's going on, Amber?
Yeah. Hey, thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Absolutely. So tell me a little bit about how we know you're the Assistant Parks Director now, but how did we get to this point? Where did you start? How did you get into that realm?
Yeah, I never thought in a million years I would be working for the Parks Department. So right out of college, I was working for the YMCA here in Jeffersonville and kind of just stayed there and was there for 20 plus years, doing sports programs and teen and family programs and just kind of a gamut of kind of everything at the Y. And the Y started changing a little bit, and I just knew it was kind of a time for me to also change.
20 years is a long time.
20 years is a long time, right? For one person, right?
Especially with hooligans like me working for you back. That was one of my first real jobs when Amber was my boss.
Yeah, we employed a lot of Jeff High kids through camps and everything else. So this job, it was a new job actually that they created through Parks, and I just happened to see it and applied for it, and here I am, and I'll be with the Parks. It'll be 7 years in June. So
what is 20 years at the YMCA? You're bound to have some crazy stories. Is there anything that sticks out to you? Like what are some of the cool story that you had or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, one, I thought I was going to be fired by some of what my summer camp counselors did on a field trip one time.
Not me.
What's funny about this is that I still run summer camp with the Parks, and in my training with summer camp, I tell all these stories that happened at camp, what counselors did or didn't do, or, would have gotten us in major trouble for doing. And they're like, that really happened? That really happened? I'm like, yes, those things really happen. So, don't go swimming along the river on the Louisville side ever. Don't put kids in there ever. And we did that.
Good old Chris Gordon. Best friend.
Chris Gordon. Shout out.
Shout out to Chris. So Chris, you're watching this. You made the big time. You're on here right now. So, well, cool. So that leads me into one of the things I wanted to ask you about, which was the camp that you got going on now through the city. I know it's very affordable and all that stuff.
This is it's a 5-day-a-week camp. It's really childcare for when kids are out of school.
Is it year round or just in the summer?
Just the summer. We do the 8 weeks that the kids are out of school, and it's ages 5 to 12 years old. And we break it up into age groups, but we do field trips and go swimming and do theme weeks just like I did when I was at the Y. So, and it's very affordable. So
those fill up pretty quick, I think, right?
Very quickly.
How early does somebody need to get on something like that to think about that for the summer?
So we usually register around March, but we're going through a new software system right now. So it'll be April, but follow us on our social media, and we'll kind of talk about social media, but Jeff Parks and Events on Facebook and Instagram, and we post everything there that we have going on, plus our website, which is jeffparks.org. So we're looking at April 8th. There's the second week of April that we'll be doing registration, but don't worry.
Taylor Swift tickets
don't worry. All parents, you will have plenty of time to get that alarm in your phone.
Gotcha. Well, I've heard it's really cool, and I know obviously you have a ton of experience in it, and you're running this, so I can't believe you brought camps with you to your new job after 20 years of doing it.
Right.
So tell me a little bit about some of the parks we've got going on already. I know there's a lot more out there. I think there's an insane amount of parks in our area that a lot of people might not even know about. So what are some interesting ones?
When I came to the park system, I had no idea the amount of parks that we had. We have 38 parks in Jeffersonville. If you could just wrap your head around that, 38 parks. And that's from pocket parks, which are small parks, to much bigger parks. So we'll talk about Chapel Lake really quickly. That's a fairly new park with a lake, walking trails, very nice park. And on the backside of that park, we just put an 18-hole disc golf course, which is a huge hit. And it's bringing lots of people to Jeffersonville for this disc golf course.
There's not much else like that around.
Not, Clarksville, but this is,
Yeah, we've done a video on that course. So if you're interested in more about that, check that out. It's also on our YouTube page and everything. And it's Faith's boyfriend or fiance now, excuse me, is a big disc golf guy, and he actually got a hole-in-one live on video.
That is crazy because I've been on that course so many times, and just to think about a hole-in-one is wow.
I don't even know how long it was, but he was as excited as we were. I was like, does that happen a lot? And he was like, no. So pretty cool.
It never happens.
So what other parks do we got going on?
So Oglesby Park, which is people might not know where that is, but they might now because we've added some pickleball courts. But that's the one that was by Bridgepoint School, and we have renovated that whole park and added 16 pickleball courts. And the 16 pickleball courts the outdoor courts are so nice with the pavilion, everything. That whole park turned out great. That's also bringing a lot of people to Jeffersonville because they want to play on those courts, and they have lights on them too. So those courts are open till like 10 p.m. at night. So in the summertime, in the summertime, it'll be really busy, booming.
It's incredible. And I know I think it's probably the best place to play outside of, especially outdoor courts, in public places, free places to play. I mean, it's a really good spot. So how about, I know there's something coming that's the silos or something along those lines.
Yeah. So Ellingsworth Commons property, which is out on the east end of by Port Road, Middle Road. We've got some land there that we're going to be developing into a park system, and with the help of redevelopment and the mayor and our parks, it's going to be something really nice. There's going to be a dog park. We're bringing a dog park to the east end of town. So we have currently one dog park, which is in the middle of Jeff, but a lot of people don't know where that is. And so if you have a dog, this is going to be a nice new dog park for you out there. Playground equipment. And we want to have green space where we can put like soccer goals or something where, kids can go out and play, and you could have practices out there. There's going to be a trail or a walking path around the lake. And it's just going to be a very nice kind of quiet area that you can go and
I know it should do for that area what Chapel Lake did down in the Crystal Springs, Old Stoner type area in there. And I know that really helps property values, and people love having a place to go walk and run and things like that. So
we're really excited about it.
Cool. How about, there's one that we've talked about before, but the depot. So I know it's something I've heard about.
Depot,
I know it's like a big question. What the heck is the depot?
So the depot, downtown Jeff, which is all the railroad cars, that are graffitied on that you see in the art culture NoCo cultural arts district. So the three at the bottom, we put businesses in that sell their wares throughout the season. Thrift shops. We had a record shop in there. Bad Cat Boutique had a store in there, so you can shop while you're there. But this is a very cool spot tucked away kind of on the other side of Court Avenue, which is, people forget that it's down there. But we had a Wine After Works last year, which was every Wednesday night, which was a good networking event for businesses or anybody that wanted to come, put a blanket on the lawn and listen to music. This year we'll be doing we're going to be bringing another thing to the depot, which is going to be like a Jammin and Jeff, like the Riverstage on Friday night, but it's going to be on Thursday nights. And it's going to be like bands with their own music. So not cover band stuff, but so it's a different taste.
Cover bands are the worst.
So a different taste to that area, and it's a really cool spot. And it's just not well known, and a lot of our events are all free. So make sure you're checking out the depot at NoCo on social media also, so you can follow family events too. That's one thing I wanted to make a point about here is that I hear a lot of talk about how things are so expensive these days and all that stuff. And through this whole podcast, we're talking about pretty much completely free things. So, go take advantage of those things. These are the things that your tax dollars are going to. Correct. So get out there and utilize this stuff. So that leads me to another one you kind of briefly talked about is the Riverstage. What's going on with the Riverstage this year? So our Riverstage season is a staple here in Jeffersonville. It's been going on as long as I can remember it's been happening. It starts in June. It kicks off in June and goes through August. And it's every Friday night. We bring live music to Jeffersonville. And when I say live music, it's not just we talk about cover bands a lot, but we brought some international acts to Jeffersonville that you're just like, whoa, did you ever think Little John would play in Jeffersonville?
Yeah, exactly. We had Lil John on the Riverstage. That is wild.
Or In Vogue. In Vogue, that's hands down my favorite that was there last year. But so these events will take place, and some new things that Tara Young, our Riverstage manager, brought to the Jammin and Jeff series is a kid zone, free kid zone. So here we go. You want to go to things, but you need something for your kids to do. Yeah. We got you. We have a free kid zone, or it's from 5 to 7 p.m. Once the concert starts, we really don't kind of do stuff because we want, people to be kind of engaged in the music, but a free thing. Yeah. Well, that's a huge thing. I know it's because it can be kind of a hindrance sometimes if you're going to something like that with kids and there's nothing for them. They just get bored quick and they do stuff. So a reason to bring the kids with you and get them down there is awesome. And there's a lot of stuff going on. I know there's also kind of the adult playground on the other side, which is the beer garden. The beer garden is always going to be there. So beer garden. A lot of stuff. So I know there's a lot of other vendors and stuff up there too. How does that work? And so we have a night. We're going to bring a night market, which is kind of like the farmer's market on Saturday mornings, but just vendors on the other side. So people can actually do some shopping if you wanted, or just kind of graze by. But for the food and that kind of thing that you're talking about, we have a city partners program. So you can become a city partner of the city of Jeff, or to the, to Jeff Parks. Yeah. And it is basically, you can get it's different, sorry, I'm like bumbling with the words, but it's different. You can do the Jammin and Jeff Friday night sponsorship. You could do holiday events only. We can kind of gear it towards you. And then you get your commercials on, or we put it on our social media site. We put it on our website. And you can come set up your booth. So how do you get involved? If I'm a vendor and I want to go set up, or I want to get on one of the commercials or anything like that, how do you go about? So go to our website, jeffparks.org, and look at our city partners page. And then you want to contact Tara Young. She'll come out, she'll meet with you. She'll bring all the packages and kind of meet it or get it to what you need. Well, I can't say, and probably most anybody who's watching this has either been to or heard about the Riverstage, but I think it's one of the coolest things, and I think that anybody does in any city, let alone a city the size of Jeffersonville, Indiana. So it's pretty cool what we do. I always have to throw my shtick in there. The only cool thing I ever did was part of the Juice Box Heroes. So my son wants me to still be in it, but I'm like, man, you never see me. It's weekend nights all the time. It's a tough gig, but and what's really cool, and man, it's our favorite show every year. So it's for a good time. Bands, especially all bands want to play the Riverstage. Yeah, like it's like the coolest little experience. Go about getting on the Riverstage. They just beat down Tara Young's. They're probably pretty relentless. I guess. We get emails constantly. We get emails constantly, and it's we take risks sometimes with different bands, and we try to rotate bands. Some bands are staples that we play in Jeff, but we try to rotate that schedule. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I wanted to tie this in a little bit to. We had a conversation with Scott Hawkins about how budgets are set and things like that. So maybe this is just me nerding out and caring about something that nobody else cares about. Numbers. But how does that tie into the city? Like, who decides how the money is spent within the Parks Department? Sure. How does that work? Yeah. So budget time is around June, and we get together and we pretty much set our budget internally with, how much, what do we need at the pool? What do we need at the depot? What do we need at the Riverstage? And then we kind of move the money around as we need it, or like our operating budget. And then those budgets go to city council for final approval. So they look through those. If something looks wonky or looks, they might ask questions or move stuff around. So you guys are doing the work. They're just saying. Yeah. And then they're saying, okay, that's great. Now, and that doesn't mean like later in the year, if we didn't put enough money in this bucket, we might have to go back to city council and just say, hey, we need to kind of move from this bucket to this bucket. And that's what they're there for. Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's cool. What are some things, are there any like projects that we don't know about yet? I guess we kind of talked about the silos. Or any other parks or any other things that you're kind of excited about coming down the pipeline? Well, if you watch the mayor's State of the City address on Tuesday, he talked about Wathen Park. And this is a very old park that sits in a neighborhood and it's not had a lot of renovations to it. And they're off Regina. And we are going to be, it's going to be getting new playground equipment and rehabbing the pavilion. So making that nicer, and that's going to be coming down the pike as well. There's your tax dollars at work again, just doing great things. I love that there's just a lot of cool, inexpensive things to do. And like I said, if you don't pay attention to it, if you don't watch stuff like this or anything, you might not know it's out there.
So I want to take us down one more path. This is a new kind of segment of our show before I let you go today. I watch a lot of podcasts or listen to a lot of podcasts where they kind of ask those 3 questions at the end. What's your favorite book, or, different things like that. But this is a local podcast. So we want to give people good advice for the things to do and eat and all those things. So my first question for you, what is your favorite local place to eat? And I don't want to hear like Olive Garden or something like that. You don't want a chain. I want something that you can only get in Jeffersonville.
Okay.
Or Southern Indiana and Louisville. It doesn't have to be Jeffersonville. So.
I'll say Harry's. I think Harry's is a very cool vibe. Sitting outside or watching a game, or they also have karaoke and Family Feud and different things happening in their back area. But I'll say Harry's for.
I'll tell you one thing about Harry's. You order a sandwich there, you better be hungry, because it's like those things. Like you get a fish sandwich that's literally like twice as big as my head, which is saying something. But Harry's is great. Yeah, they got the awesome view of the river and everything, and they got the back area with all those TVs and stuff. They do trivia nights and stuff like that. So
especially when the weather's getting nice, it's really cool to go sit on the patio.
Yeah, absolutely. So, second question.
Okay.
And this is going to be an incredibly easy one for you because you're the parks director.
I know.
But what's your favorite thing to do that is either cheap or either free or inexpensive to do in our area?
Okay. So I'm a music person. My husband and I go to a million concerts all over the place. We travel all the time. So to be able to have free music in our city and now different locations. So at the Riverstage, at the depot, and a different taste of music for everybody. That to me is the thing that you can get for free, because concert tickets are not cheap.
That is that's a fantastic answer, because I'm right there with you. I think live music is my favorite thing to do if I'm going to go out and do something. So the fact that we have those options, and it's such a professional setup. You literally look like it's watching. I mean, you got the big TVs on the stage with the cameras and stuff. I mean, you think you're at a major. I mean, it really is a major performance, and it's free, and there's stuff to do, and it's right down there in the middle of everything. So really good thing to do. So wrapping up here, I'm going to give my last little spiel, which is that we do these videos. We try to give you guys content to basically be the area experts and know all that. But we also sell real estate. So if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in Southern Indiana or Louisville, reach out to us. I don't care how you do it. Email, Facebook, phone, carrier pigeon, whatever. Reach out to us. Let us help you. Other than that, Amber, thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.